Hi all. Okay, back to the situation here. Been a little bit time has passed. I was waiting on somebody coming back to me, uh, and of course it was Martin that sent me a wee message. I suppose things are okay here, but they're not perfect. So I'm going to rewind a little bit because there's a few things that'll be slightly different. Um, first of all, uh, I mean, it's silly. I went over it. I looked at it and considered it, and the, the situation for this card is strength of unit stack and other active units. Now, I mean, I read the card, I looked at it, and whatever. I don't know. I just that part of me blanked out. Maybe the confusion is, and Martin also already mentioned, he mentioned as well that if you compare strong attack with attack, I don't have the card handy, but it is just strength of unit stack. That's the situation. It then goes on within the action to involve other units, but that's within the action. The situation itself is where you've got to consider all the units that are unit, stack, and other active in the case of strong attack. Which means that I was trying to say that this unit stack, although it had selector number 1, it had selector number 3, that they would act first before selector number 2. Well, that's rubbish. That's nonsense. And I don't know why I came to that conclusion. Like I say, I can only think I was thinking that this was part of that. That was part of the action rather than the situation. We're still within the situation here. So number 1 selector number, it moves first, and then number 2, and then number 3. So that was a mistake to start with, and I think that ends up being the units in a slightly different position, or does it? Actually, I'm not sure that does affect anything, because is unit 3 here? No, that's unit 5, or was it? I can't remember. There is something that will be slightly different. So I'm going to rewind it. I say this was the whole point of this, to make it get it proper. You probably know by now that I want to get everything spot on. It's difficult with a game like this to do that, but I want to get it as good as I can. And then the other one that came up, and I wish Martin had picked up before. This was one of my questions up at the combat, up at the fight in Verviers. This was one of the questions that nobody come back and answered, and it was, hang on a sec, yeah, when you're moving adjacent to a German unit, and when you're already adjacent to a German unit, you move such units if they are stacked with other units and able to reach a different hex adjacent to the target that is empty or has fewer units. Now, I've went over this one a few times, so you more than likely know what I'm going on about. So, yeah, any of these units that are adjacent already, if they're stacked with something else and can get into an empty hex, they'll move to that. Obviously, you want to try and get as the units surrounded as possible. Now, it came up in Verviers, and it came up down here as well, that if I had 2 units in a stack and only 1, and that was the only place that he could move to, would he move? And I chose that no, because I was saying, well, that kind of makes it silly. You're going for 2 units to 1 unit, and then so there's going to be 2 units in here and 1 unit in there. What is the point of that? But that's not the thing. It says in the rules that if that hex has got less units than the one that you're in, you move to there. Now, okay, I put it back to Martin when he said that. I said, I think that should be worded better. That doesn't seem like that should have been an intention. And he came back, and his point was pretty good in the fact that he stated, oh, hang on, I've lost it. Hang on a sec. He reckons that it's worded in that way to avoid extra rules, which does make some sense, because if right now there's 3 units in that stack, so if they were wanting to move, they would move into this. They would move one unit into there. So then there'd be 2 in there and 2 in there. And I get that. But if there was only 2 units in there and 1 in there, they would still do that as well. The unit would move. And although it maybe makes less sense, they've got it built into the rules like that. So it's more than likely they've just left it at that. Because it doesn't really make any... It probably doesn't really make any difference. I mean, I suppose it might in some circumstances. Well, in actual fact, it does. Because once I get back up to the situation up at Verviers, when we had that the Allies were fighting out the city, that has caused a bit of a problem, and I don't know if I'm going to try and fix this or not. Well, to be honest, I can fix it pretty easy, but I'm starting to wonder if it was that long ago that if I should maybe just, let it go rather than try and go back and fix it. The thing is, the fix would benefit me, because I'd have one of my units back where they both got eliminated. I'd have one of them back with 1 step. So I'm going to ponder on that for the moment, and we'll deal with this situation first, because it's far enough away to not concern that. Anyway, that is a situation where it wouldn't matter, but it still says in the rules that if there's more units in one, if there's less units in that hex, you would move the unit. So that's in the rules, and I need to stop, I think, looking at rules and saying, well, that doesn't really make sense. If it's written down, if it's written that way, that's how it should be. I suppose you could argue against that. There has been a few rules that have been written in certain ways, and then we've found out they're not meant to have been written that way, or they're not meant to be interpreted that way. So there is that, I suppose. But this one seems pretty straightforward, and I should have just been following it as it is. So again, I can change that as well. We'll go back and I'll show you how I'm going to move them properly this time. And it will mean that there'll be a slight difference. This guy will still be surrounded. He'll still have every unit around about them. They'll just be in slightly different positions. I'm pretty sure anyway. So yeah. So, and there's a couple of other things that he mentioned as well that are good. So, but I'll wait until I put these units back into place. We'll start again with a strong attack, and then we'll start from the beginning, and then I'll explain the things that he's talking about, and hopefully I'll give a better explanation of the strong attack working, because I don't think I've done it justice. And obviously there's been a couple of errors within it as well. So, but I'm glad I understand what he's meaning, and I think I've got it. So hopefully I can show you it better. So I'll put these units back, and we'll start from the beginning with the strong attack. Okay, so there we go. There's the units reset to where they were. So we've just drawn strong attack, okay? So the situation is strength of unit stack and other active units greater than or equal to 3 times proximate German unit stack. And that's situational strength. So we know there was a couple of targets. Without looking at the action yet, there's a couple of targets. So first of all, we've got to decide if the situation can happen, if the units can do it. And there's 2 things that I was discussing with Martin here and asking about and one is, as long as we can get 3 times, at least 3 times strength against one of these units, the action's going to happen, right? We do need to look at every unit that's involved, and it's every one of these units, because they're all active units. So you start with it, this will be the lead unit, number 1, and then we go to number 2, and then we check that if they're proximate to that, and if they can get at least 3 times. Now, when it comes to actually carrying out the action, we then look at the strongest qualifying allied unit, which is going to be this one. I suppose you could read ahead to that and look at that, but you don't need to. So that's the one that they'll be trying to get to. Now, if then that these units move in a way that puts them across the river, which we didn't look at first, maybe we looked at this 7 strength unit coming in here, but maybe his actual move happens to be ending up across the river because of the rules with the movement and how you move adjacent to a German unit. That's not the case with this one, but it is the case with some of them. And I think that happened the first time I moved these. I moved this and ended up being this side of the river, and then the other one ended up being the other side of the river. Not enabling 3 times strength with just the 2 units. But of course, you need to count all the units. But if for some reason it was just the 2 units, if it was just unit stack, and they were able to get 3 times strength, and then I moved them, and then they weren't able to get 3 times strength, well, that attack will still go ahead, even if it's less than 3 times strength. Because at the time you were assessing the situation, you were able to get proximate and create that 3 times strength. And on top of that, if for some reason these units were to preserve the line, and we checked them first, and they were able to support with the 3 times strength, well, the action would carry on, but then these units then wouldn't be involved, because then they couldn't preserve the line, they couldn't move. But they still get checked, they're still proximate to this unit, and they can still add their strength, even though when it comes to the action, they can't actually carry it out. So there's the 2 things that I think I've got clear now. I think I've got the gist of that. To be honest, I didn't realise the one when he told me about they could end up being less than 3 times strength. I was like, oh, that I wouldn't have thought that was the case. But then you've got to just look at the situation first. Then you look at the action and carry it out. And it could be that there could be some situations where the situation works, and then you go to carry out the action, and none of the units can move to carry out the action. So then you just move on to the next card. But these units haven't then activated, they can still have another activation on the next card, whatever. And any units of these that can't move because they're preserving the line or whatever, they'll still have an action to carry out. So, okay, I think we've... it turns out, and this is the thing, it turns out that the combat up in Verviers, if I'd moved the units properly, it would have ended up being, that was just an attack which you need greater strength than, and which I did, but I should have moved another unit, and I would have ended up with less than, I wouldn't have had greater than, but the combat still would have gone ahead. But I looked back on things and found out that there would have been a difference to the outcome, which, like I say, whether I'll revisit that or not, I'll probably talk about it. I'll probably go up there and talk about it, whether it's just after this or not, and then whether I'll change it or not, I don't know yet. I've not decided yet. I kind of want to, because I'm getting a unit back, but I've changed a few things in the Allied favour up to now, and maybe I should. It's something that I've made a mistake in, so my whole point of going back with these things is to not make these mistakes, or to fix them before I go too far. So, okay, so let's get back to this, right? Okay, so he's a lead unit. So we're wanting to see if the strength of basically this unit and stack and all other active units can get 3 times. Well, you know what? We don't need to look. It's all these units, we can get 3 times strength on both of these units. Okay, they're the 2 that we can go for. So let's just move on to the action, right? And the action is all active units proximate to strongest qualifying German unit stack move to target and attack. So hang on. Okay, so now we're going to move them all. This is our target, because he's the strongest qualifying. So this is the lead unit. He's going to be first. So 1, 2, and he wants to go to the empty hex, and this is only an empty hex he can get to that's adjacent to this unit. So that's him. He's moved to there. So next unit, and this is where I made a mistake and took this guy first. Next unit's going to be this guy. So he wants to get adjacent to this too. He's looking to get an empty hex. So this looks like the one, and I think this is the one he ended up in before anyway. So there's nothing changed there as of yet. So yeah, he's going to move to there. So the next unit is going to be unit 3 now. So these have switched about. This is the thing. So I think we ended up having him down here, didn't we? So I think he's maybe going to be the same, isn't he? 1, 2, 3. So we can move to here or here. And we did decide that there were the same movement points, there was the same amount of allied units, and then the tiebreaker was westernmost. So yeah, he is going to end up in the same bit. So I don't think anything's changed yet. Unit number 5 now. Yeah, so and again also there's no gaps appearing in the line yet. It's all quite tight here, so it's enabling these units to all make a move and attack. So unit number 5, he ends up coming. He wants to get adjacent again. He can't get to this hex, so and this has got less units than this. So he's going to come across here, 1, 2, and then 3 into here, and that's where he moved before as well. So again, nothing's changed up to now, but I think this is now where there is a change. Apart from I moved the units out of course, but nothing, they're still in the same place. So now we're on unit 12. Now this is a situation where he's already adjacent to the target, but if he can get to an empty hex, he will move there because he's stacked with another unit. Well, he can't get to another empty hex, and the other thing is if he can get to a hex that's got less units than where he is, he'll move to there. So this is the one I thought, well, that seems a bit daft. So this has got 2 units, this has got 2 units, this has only got 1 unit, so this unit can move into here, and that's what he's going to do. He's going to move out his zone of control for 1, and then move back in here for another 1. Yeah, so that's a slight difference. Then we're on unit 13. He's just going to do the same thing. That on the camera, just about. He's just going to do the same thing because he can come across here and make an empty hex, and then this guy then becomes surrounded. Well, I think he actually was surrounded anyway, but because of this. But anyway, that's where he'll go. And the last unit's and again, no gaps are opening. The last unit's 14. Now he ended up down here in the last time I've done it, and I think he's going to do the same. Because this has got the least amount of units between these two. So yeah, he's going to move down into GV. And the good thing about that for them is, because that unit moved out, there's now 4 steps again in GV. Because if it ended up like this, and this is what happened up in Verviers, because the unit should have moved, if it ended up with just, that, and say this unit moved into there, this wouldn't be able to contribute to the attack because it's only got 2 steps and it's in a VP hex, so it's got to protect the VP hex. So that's one of the things where I think moving the units round about like that is going to make some of these things happen, but that's the way it's run. That's the way it's written in the rules, so you should just be doing that, Grant. Okay. And he's still not opened the gap here. There's still no gap through to the west from there. So there we go. So slight difference. There was, I think, 3 units in here, wasn't there, and just 1 here. But it's pretty similar. But now we've got all correct, I hope. So carrying on with the action, the next part is other proximate units in same core reinforce. Well, they were all in the core, and that's not the case. It's irrelevant, that part. And also all out of contact units in same core redeploy to attack. Well, there's none of that. That's all the units within the core. They've all had an activation, and they're about to make an attack. So we move on to the attack, and then if we've got greater than or equal to 5 steps, break off at A2. So that's going to be the case. There's certainly more than 5 steps in this attack. And their conditions preserve the line, protect VP hex. So nothing happened there. There is 4 steps in this hex. So like I say, if it had ended up now that there was only 2 steps in this hex, they wouldn't be attacking. But There's 4 steps, so they can attack, so everything's fine. And they're going to get combat engineers. Remember, they get to draw another combat tactic as well. So this could be rather grim. So let's see the strength, that's 10. This stuff's coming across the river, so 8 and 8. So that's 10 and 3, 13. And then 16 across the river's another 8. So that's 21, isn't it? Yeah. 10, 13 and 8. Yeah, 21. So 21 to 3. Remember now, we don't consider situational strength. He's got an IP. No, he's not in a forest, is he? Which would have been better. But so it's 21 to 3. So he's going to get 71 odds. Yeah, and well, I might as well work out chip pools now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then this is a 3-step unit. So that's 8. Oh, that was the other thing I noticed. I forgot. Hang on a sec. Yeah, he played engineers, didn't he? I was like, so he gets an extra strength for that. And if this unit has an IP, which it does, that's gone. So, and I can't play combat engineers if I wanted to, because of that as well. So that's typical. I mean, I've not got many units with IPs in them, and I put one on that unit, and he plays engineers to remove it. So it's 22 to 3, which is still 7 to 1. And did I count up chip pool? Yeah, I had, hadn't I? Sorry. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 for the engineers is 9. And then we're now going to draw another. Oops. We're going to draw another combat chit here. See what we get. Oh, good. Tank battalion. Well, that might not matter too much. Hang on. Dogs. Okay, I think they've quietened down now. Okay, so he drew tank battalion, so that gives him another extra strength point, taking him 23. Fortunately, it's not going to alter things again, so that's him up to 10 chip pools now. And it's 23 to 3, so it's still 71 odds. He's got armour anyway, so that didn't really hurt us. Okay, so now, well, we get the chance to play a combat tactic if we wish, but let me see. Yeah, I'm swithering here. The fact he's not played artillery is tempting me, and I've got, the artillery, it's not I've got the 66 core, which I'm not really doing an awful lot with, and just wondering if it's worthwhile or not. He needs, although I'm surrounded, I do have a way out through that unit, so I wouldn't, it's not that I couldn't get away. I would need to retreat and take a step loss, so he needs D3 to eliminate me. Just that artillery is tempting, isn't it? It's another card in my hand, but I shouldn't be really thinking that way so much now. I don't. Well, in some ways maybe I should, but I don't know. Let me have a wee think. Yeah, I think I'm going to use this. I'm not sure if it's a brilliant idea or not, but it's not a strong card. The thing is, I could have used the artillery in another combat that I was on the offensive of, but it's just the temptation is just because he's not played artillery, so I know that no matter what the priority I'm gonna get, if artillery chit comes up, I'm getting it. Yeah, let's go for it. Okay, so he's got a maximum of 10 chip pools, just a minimum of 1. So he's going to draw this one, and then he'll just keep drawing chits individually until, you know, either 3 cases arrive. He needs, what is it, he needs D3 to eliminate me. He'll break off at A2, or if he gets right through 10 chits. So I'll get the first one anyway, we'll have a look. Okay, so, well, glad I didn't have air power. Would have been 2 hits right away. So he's going to start drawing them one at a time now. So I'll get one at a time. Oh, well, that was close. Remember, 23, he had 23 to 3. One more, if he managed to get one more strength point. D3. The back of that was less than 4 to 1, was it? Less than 3 to 1. That's not happening. So we'll get the next one. He's got a large attack, so probably going to get to that. Although you never know. But I'll put it in the positive column for him. Okay, that's better. Some terrain chits. So a woods for a D-1. Nice. Some artillery. So remember, this isn't applying just yet. We still need to get 2 more chits before this applies. So he is sitting at A1. So if I manage to get another A1 with this chit, he'll break off, won't he? I think, yes. So that'd be good. Right, let's see what we get. Right guys, honestly, I didn't cheat. I got another artillery. So I think he's going to break off. Yeah, because that's only 6 chits drawn. So that's not applying just yet. And we're sitting at A2. Yes. Wow. That was so worth the artillery played there then. Just shows you. So no hits to us and 2 hits to him, and he breaks off. Pretty sure that's right. Just going to pause and consider things. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right. He's going to break off at A2. The large attack chit doesn't apply until we've drawn 7 chits. So, yeah, awesome. So yeah, 2 hits to them and none to us. So I've not had more than 1 hit before, so first hit has got to be a step loss, and they always to the participating stack with the most steps, select highest number multi-step unit. So these are all going to be 4 steps, but this one's 5 steps, isn't it? So participating stack with the most steps, select highest numbered multi-step unit. So it's going to be the 3 strength unit underneath. So he's going to take the first hit. Oops. We've still got 1 hit to apply. Right, we've not been here before, so let's just have a look. It says, second hit, you take a step loss if attacker has got greater than or equal to 4 steps, otherwise disperse the units. Yeah, it was basically saying that, you know, if he didn't have much in the way of steps, so that he, you know, you don't want to disperse it, and if you can maybe have another impulse. So yeah, that makes sense. So he's going to take this as a step loss as well. So yeah, so we've taken a step loss from this stack, so we can't take the step loss from this stack again. These are 2 with the most steps. That's got a selector number 3 and 14, that's 2 and 12. So my thinking is that it's this infantry unit. And GV will take the second hit. Yeah, pretty sure that's right. yeah. Well, it just shows you that one-step unit there. I thought he was in all sorts of trouble, but of course the playing of that artillery, that made all the difference there. I mean, on another day I would have maybe not drawn any artillery at all, and that might have been a different story, yeah. So it's good the way that works like that. Right? It's good to be on the other side when you're getting attacked and you see that happen. Okay, I'll get things cleared up. So yeah, that's all the units have had an activation now. So basically that's it. There's no more units in the 30 core British units to activate. So that'll be. I mean, we won't even get to see the other cards. Oh, was that an attack? Oh no, it's not. It's pullback. I'm gonna like show you the two cards, but so we won't need to. All these cards just get discarded, so. And that ends the Allied Impulse. So I think we eventually got through it properly, and surprisingly came out of it okay. I mean, we've still got concerns, obviously. That unit is surrounded. It's got some nice support round about him though, and we've got the 47. In fact, we've got the 58 Panzer Corps card and the 47 Panzer Corps card. So we've got both these core cards in our hand. I'm not sure if we're feeling like getting all aggressive. The temptation is to maybe have a go at this guy again while we've got him kind of, well, we could probably get him surrounded too. But as long as we keep if we keep a line where we can maybe retreat, like I said, that if that unit hadn't been there, they would only needed. In fact, it would only needed D1 to kill that guy, wouldn't it? Because he would have retreated once into a zone of control and then taken a step loss. So that's quite huge, that having these units beside them. So something to seriously consider, because I'm going to have to think defensive now as well, although I do need to pick up the odd victory point here and there. It's going to be kind of slow process, I think. Okay, let's move on. Let's well, that's been going half an hour now. Dear me. God, I go on, don't I? Okay, I'm going to probably pause there, cut that video, and I might come back right away though. I'll see. I've still got a bit of time. But we'll be. Well, the other thing is to consider this situation in Verviers. Maybe I need to think about that before I make my next move. Just make a decision one way or the other. Okay, I'll be back shortly, guys. Okay, cheers. Hi all. Okay, I've not been away for that long. It's been just struggling to decide what to do. My decisions seem to be really tough now. So I'm gonna do something kind of controversial, I guess. Or it feels like it to me. It feels like I shouldn't be doing it. I'm gonna play this, and assign 2 replacement points. I think I really don't want to do it, but you know, my initial thought, I suppose, was activating them and moving this infantry to surround this, and we would have got a good attack. I think 6-1 odds on that guy. Got him surrounded as well. So, but the other units round about, I don't think I was going to do an awful lot with them. So, just thinking about strength and getting a couple of replacement points back might be a better idea. I can also, I've got the core, the 58 core card. So if I got an assault coordination, I could still make an attack here, although we wouldn't have them. Well, actually, we could have them surrounded, because we could bring this unit around and then get the assault coordination maybe. Okay, I'm going to just go by what I thought, although I've been having, just as I'm playing this card, I'm definitely going to repair this one. Now, the requirements are supplied unit, it needs to be a supplied unit, and it needs to be able to trace supply. I can trace supply with this. I'm not going to show you. You'll just have to trust me. Well, we're not that long into the turn. Well, nothing's changed regarding the supply for us. So he jumps for a 2 to a 4 and 2 steps, obviously, to from 1, you know. Now, the other point, and initially thought about the unit, the infantry unit in Rochefort, and then I started thinking, well, the Fuhrer Brigade, he can go up to a 7, but, so that's the one I was going to do, but I'm starting to wonder now. I mean, probably be better getting a 1-step unit up to 2 steps, you know, maybe. I don't know. This was another thought, but he only jumps to a 2 strength. And remember, I can't touch the elites until I've done all the normal units. This guy would turn from 3 strength to 4 strength. That's pretty good, but yeah. Maybe he has a better. I mean, do I really need the extra step on this guy? Oh, been back and forward. Right, I'm gonna repair the Fuhrer Brigade. The fact that you're getting 2 strength points rather than 1 back, it just feels like the better option. I was almost doing this infantry, but he's in the town. He's got 2 strength. I mean, there's these allied units up here. You can just catch on the camera, but they're in 2 of them are in VP hexes too. So I'm not sure they're all going to come down and start getting all nasty on us. Yeah, let's just go with that. Okay, so I've replaced 2 points, and that's my impulse over. That's me spent 3 command points. And remember, it doesn't have activate the core, so I could next impulse activate the 47th. Not that I've got a card now. I've got 2 spaces now, so I'm going to draw 2 new cards. So, in fact, might as well just draw them while I've got the camera. Well, I'm going to take these cubes off the 2 core that I'd activated. So now we do have yeah, I think I'd explained that I'd took the cube off that, but these are now available, sitting right beside the roadblock at R1, and it was the 2nd SS up there that had been activated. So I do have the 7th Army card, so I could the Allies have an impulse first, obviously. No, sorry, I'm all the way up the top again. But, yeah, I'm talking about 7th Army card, activating the 53rd Corps, and getting lucky with the dice. Don't know, after the 2 artillery chits, I'm feeling like, it might be worth a go. Yeah, maybe not. Okay, I'll draw my 2 cards while I'm just on camera here. Okay, so I've got 80 Corps. Yeah, nothing exciting about that really, is there? It's a bridge engineer's card, but 9th. Oh, that's the new guys, isn't it? Oh, they're not out yet. No fuel on the 25th and the 29th. Well, they're not in play yet, so Fury of Bastogne. Oh, I can't do that yet either. So there's a chance to deploy them, which is interesting. So, okay. So that's the two new cards that I've drawn. So we'll get another Allied Impulse next. Okay, let's go for another Allied Impulse. Here we go. 7 core division card. Seen this one before, haven't we? Okay. There's no units to deploy. We're probably going to look at activating them. It's hard to keep track of things. I know you might be watching things and it might be like, oh, you had that card just recently, Grant. You should know what's going on, but sometimes a lot of time's passed. Okay, let me have a look. Yeah, okay, I remember these guys. That's why we've done some damage to them. We've got one in the limited units box. A 3rd armour unit. And this was guy we reduced, pushed. He's the 84th Infantry. So, I can see that, yeah. The other 280, one of them's in Verve. Oh, well, okay. We're going to have to make our decision now. Okay. Because this is going to affect the Verve thing. Okay. Let's make a decision on this now. Okay, let's get this sorted out. I've decided I always want to try and do things right, and if I make a mistake and I can go back and fix it without any, without any other information coming in that would make it sound like it's, I'm trying to pull a fast one. I mean, this one is benefiting me slightly, yes. But it's how I just played the last attack, and I didn't follow one of the rules, which I should have done. It's how it's written, so I should have done it that way. But so yeah, I'm going to go back because the fixing of this doesn't really interfere with anything else. So the situation was up here, and these 3 units were in Verviers, and we had this stack. Now this was full strength, the other one was reduced, and it was in that hex there. So they were 8 strength. Situationally they were only 7 though, because they were in queer hex. Now they were all dispersed. I'll just put a dispersal on this guy. These units were dispersed as well, but they were too strong for it to attack. The card was attack. I wish I had it handy. I don't want to go through the Allied Action deck, but well, hang on. I've got the video up, so I should be able to tell you exactly what happens. Yeah, so it is the card. It is the card attack. So the situation is unit stack, strength greater than proximate German unit stack, and situationally, So they've got 9 strength in here, and we said it was 8, but situationally it's only 7, so 9 to 7. Now they didn't have enough. They didn't have greater strength in these 2 stacks. That's correct. Well, you know what? Let's just look at this because nothing's changed here. So that's 9. Right, hang on, something feels off here. Hang on. And that's 9. Hang on a sec. Yeah, sorry, I was just looking back in the video there. Yeah, that's right. So we've got 9 strength in here. There's 9 in here. There's 9 in here. There's 8 in here, but situationally it's 7. So he's not got greater strength against either of these 2 stacks, but he does have greater strength against this stack. That's just where it gets interesting. And obviously if I'd made the move like I should have done, like it's written, then this is how it would have happened. So Well, to be honest, it was a 5th Corps division card. So we had, that's 10 and 12, yeah, situationally. That's how it was. So this is a lead unit, and it's unit stack, and that's why this unit gets involved, because it says unit stack, and it was the 9th division and 1st 9th division and 5th Armoured Division that was activating these units, and we'd drawn the 3 cards, and this was attack. So, but because he's stacked, this unit gets to be involved too, and he's unit selector number 9. So we've satisfied the situation. The situation is that this unit stack has got greater strength than this German unit stack. So we move on to the action. Move to weakest qualifying target and attack. So there's only one target, and it's that unit that in the north here. So so this is where we started doing the moves, and this is where things went slightly wrong. Because I talked about it, and I asked the question. I wish Martin, not that I'm blaming Martin, I keep asking him questions. I wish he had came back and or somebody had came back and said, well, it does say in the rules that Grant, that's got more units in that hex than that hex, so move it, So again, I keep reading this one out. Well, hang on. First of all, we're working our way. It goes in ascending order to move the units. Okay, when you look at 10.63, it says ascending order. So although these were the units that were on the card and part of the division involved, this unit selector's number 9, and I think I got that right at the time. I suppose that's the unit I moved for. Well, obviously it was, because that's the only unit that ended up moving. So yeah. So we're going to move him first. So he's already adjacent to the target, but if he can get to another empty hex, he'll do that. So, and this is what we done. We moved him out of zone of control for 2, and then 3 back into here. So now he's in an empty hex attacking the same unit. So we've got like attack from 2 hexes rather than just 1. If you recall, there's a chit that says attack from 1 hex, and it's detrimental to you. Yeah? So the more hexes you can attack from, the better. So okay, so that unit moves. So the next unit in line is selector number 10 here, and this is where we stopped and said, when we read the second bullet within 10.63, this also applies to units that start their move adjacent to the target. Move such units if they're stacked with other units. Well, this is stacked with another unit. And able to reach a different hex adjacent to the target that is empty. Well, there's no empty hex, but has fewer units. So again, I asked the question that I was like, right, well, if that moves to there, that does have less units in this stack, it does. And that's where I should have just drawn the line and said, right, Grant, it does, it moves. But I started thinking, well, but then that means 1 unit in the other hex, and then I also realised that by doing that, there's then only 2 steps left in Verviers, and then they've got to, because part of the attack, the restrictions on the attack card are preserve the line and protect VP hex. Protect VP hex says you can't attack from a VP hex if you've got less than 4 steps. So this unit moving out of here would prevent that unit from joining the attack. So you would think that's, the Allies probably wouldn't want to do that, and maybe that was my thinking, but that's not it. You've just got to follow what the rules say, Grant. What it says in the card and what it says in the rule book. And the rule book says, try and move this guy to an empty hex, right? Or a hex with less allied units than it's in. So it's simple. This unit moves out for 2, and he does the same as what this unit done. He moves in here as well. So it seems strange in some ways, but that's the rules. And like Mark pointed out, maybe if there'd been 3 units in here, it would make sense to like split them up into 2 twos. And his thinking was that maybe the rules just there, and rather than make the rules all more complicated, just leave it like that. And I say it doesn't make a lot of difference, but in this situation it does, because this unit can't now join the attack with that move. So it's an interesting one, but as rules as written say that that's what should have happened. And then now this is where it becomes that we've now not got greater strength, but that doesn't matter, because we've satisfied the situation already by saying that there was sufficient strength, there was greater strength. So that satisfied the situation. We're on to the action now. It doesn't matter. We're on to the action now. So this unit can't participate in the attack because it would be breaking the rule, the protect VPX rule. So now we have 6 against situational strength of 7. Well, situational strength of 7, but it doesn't matter. We're past that bit anyway. So it's 6 against 8. So that's the situation we've got. But the attack can still go ahead. So it's quite an interesting one. Like I say, before discussing this with Martin, I probably wouldn't have thought that you could go ahead and do this, because now you've not got greater strength. But that was only within the situation you needed the greater strength. Now you've got less strength, doesn't matter, you're still going ahead with it. The other thing is, this unit has not had an activation, so, which is something I've not thought about, to be honest. Right, I might need to see what happens after that, because he's not getting involved anymore. So we've now got an attack with 6 against 8, and right, well, we'll proceed and show you what happens after that. Okay, so we went into the attack, and there was well, here's the thing. I went in an attack with 5 chip pools. Now they've got 2 combat tactics: artillery and air power. Right, sorry I can't pull this stuff out. It would be too much to. I'm getting some of the chits out here, but so they had artillery, air power, and at the time they had 3 units attacking, which was 5 chip pools. And this is a massive part about it, because now there should only be 4 chip pools, because this guy's not attacking. It turns out the odds don't matter within that. The odds are less than 1 to 1. It doesn't come into it, but the chip pool does. So he's only getting 4 chip pools now. 1, 2 for the units, and then artillery and air power, right? So it's still a minimum of 3 pools, maximum of 5. There's 3 steps in the defenders. And these are the 3 chits that they draw to start with. This doesn't apply. They played artillery, they played air power. It was quite devastating now. So I'm now at D3. So and we worked it out. D4 was going to eliminate us. There was a bit of question regarding how it was worded, because these are dispersed. They can only retreat ones. That I'm not going to go into all that. So then we draw the next 2 chits individually. And we drew, it was a 5-1 chit, which didn't apply. And again, that didn't affect the odds with the difference. And this is the thing, that's now 4 chits drawn. So with it as this, there was only 4 chits to draw. So the result is D3, and that should stop there. And the thing that eliminated us was, because I drew a 5th chip pool and it ended up being this, that made it D4 and eliminated the 2 units. So this chit shouldn't have been drawn. I should have had a D3 result. There's 3 steps in the stack. The retreat once for 1 hit. Take 2 step losses. So basically, I take 1 step loss there,
and then I take one step loss, and it's my choice about which one of these I want to eliminate. But one of these is going to still be in this hex. So that has been the difference in what's all went on there. And yeah, I mean, I've been quick enough to fix the mistakes that I've made, that I've done against the Allies, but I think I should fix this too. It's nothing else has happened up there to, there's a couple little things afterwards. So what I'm going to do is decide which one of the units I want to keep, because I'm not that sure. Because if you remember, I talked about there's one of them that turns into 4 strength, one of them turns into 5 strength. But this is the 4 strength one, but it's armored, and the other one's 5 strength, but it's not armored. So I'm not 100% sure about that. Maybe the armor might be good to have. I don't know. Just let me have a wee think about that one. Okay, I've decided to keep. This is the unarmored unit, so it will repair to 5 strength rather than the 4. I don't know if it's relevant. They're beside the 1st SS. They're usually involved with them. There's plenty of armor within them. So, okay, so that would have been the combat result. Now, they did push us back, so there was a chance of advance after combat. This unit's a low selector number, and we rolled on the secondary forward direction, and he advanced. Now, this unit wasn't there at the time, so he would have had a chance to advance as well, and I think this is where I'm going to have to do a dice roll, because sorry if this is like, maybe some of you are shaking your head and saying, wait, you should just let that go, Grant, don't go back to that. But I just try. I'm a completist. I want to try and get it all right. Impossible, but anyway. So it's secondary forward route or town, and there's a unit already advanced. It's a dice roll on 1 to 4. So I'm just going to see if that 5th Corps unit will route right. It's a 6, so it wouldn't have moved in. So it wouldn't have moved in. So that's all fine. So the last thing that's now missing is this unit's not had an activation. I've done the rest with other stuff, whether they got IPs or not. I'm not going to. That's irrelevant. Let's just see if he would have done anything else. Probably unlikely. He's in Verviers, which is a VP city, so it's unlikely he's going to do anything, and he can't build an IP there. So yeah, okay, just had a look. Attack was the first of the 3 cards. The next card was elite attack, so that wasn't going to happen. Then the last card was move, and he's already adjacent to German units. So that's how things would have finished, or should have finished, should I say. I'm sorry if some of you have already switched off and thought, oh, that's a nonsense, you shouldn't have went back to that. But hey-ho. I've watched a few videos, and I'm not knocking any of the guys that have made videos in the past about these. It's tough to do, and you can see I've made mistakes as well. What I think I talked about the last time about how I started being rabbiting on again, and things. The videos have been getting awful long again, and I try to stop it right at the beginning, but just obviously it's not going to be that way. I'm just going to have to do it this way. But this is how I would have liked to have watched the videos and watched them done. Hopefully, you can't get 100%, I suppose, but as close to, I've seen some people, not really caring so much about the rules and just moving on, and some of you guys might be happy watching that, but me myself, I feel like I want to watch something that tries to do it as good as it can be done, by the rules. I'm no any kind of expert at this recording and putting the words right and whatever. But I just want to be able to play the game as close to how it should be played. So anyway, I'm going to go with that now because I've done it all. So these units, they would all still be dispersed, but that is all past now. And the other good thing in our favour is there's now only one unit in Verviers of 3 strength. So we've got the first SS there. Whether we think we could. Got to bear in mind it's actually 6 strength when it comes to attacking it. We've been there before as well, but so yeah, but that's what should have happened. I'm pretty sure. So okay, let's get back to this Allied impulse regarding the 7 Corps division and see what's going to happen. Let's pop the card back up there so to remind us, because obviously he's involved in this as well. So we'll have a look about, and I'm pretty sure. Well, hang on, I might as well decide what they're going to activate. There's no units to deploy. That's not changed. Any out of contact units within the. Yeah, there's nothing out of contact. This unit right away can take an IP, so they're going to activate. So we're going to activate the 84th Infantry Division and the 3rd Armoured Division. I'm going to draw 3 cards and we'll see what's going to happen. Okay, let's see what we get. We've got a couple of defensive ones. Combined arms attack, elite attack and pullback. Now, right, okay. Here's the first one we've had. This has got December 22nd on it, and we're on the 23rd. So let's now find out exactly what happens to this card. Okay, there you go. It's 10.66. Action card removal. Some action cards list the calendar date along the bottom of the card. If you draw a card listing the current date or an earlier date, immediately remove the card from play without implementing its action and draw another action card to replace it. So remove from play, so yeah, not discard. So that's going to be, so we remove that pull back card and we'll draw another card to replace it. So we've got a move as well. So yeah, same order. So combined arms attack, combined arms attack, elite attack, and a move at the end. So, yes, we'll see what's happening with that then. Okay, first unit we're considering here, strength of unit stack, goes in ascending order. This is the lowest numbered unit within the units we're looking at, 84th and 3rd Armour. So, unfortunately, this guy, he's in the 3rd Armour too, but he's got a selector number 24 because he took a step loss. And he's outside the 1 to 19, so he's not an active unit. So it's only this guy. There's no road here, but he can go 3, 4, 5. He can get into there to consider an attack against this guy. Now he's across the river though, so his 4 is going to become a 2, and this guy is going to get a +1 because he's in a non-VP town. So it's going to be 2 against 2. So that's not any good. Just wonder if we can reach this guy. This guy actually, after looking at this, I regret not giving him the boost because I was thinking he's in a town, but he's in a VP town, so he doesn't get the situational +1 for that. So the Germans exposed on that would eliminate the unit, I'm pretty sure, so that was pretty bad. Yeah, I've got to consider that now. I need to strengthen this because because remember this is my supply route, and I want to keep an eye out for that Germans exposed card whenever I can. It's rather nasty, you know. And he's only a one-step unit as well, so it's not as if it's going to flip him, it's just going to eliminate him. So I don't think this unit can reach though. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, fortunately he can't reach down to this guy anyway, so I don't think 1, 2, 3. We can get down to here. That's going to be 4 against 2, but he's in a forest, so that'd be 4 against 3. So that's not 2 times either. You can't get, well, he's in a forest as well. So no, I don't think combined arms attack is going to work for that guy. No. Okay. Oh, and by the way, while I was talking about that there, he's in a VP Hex himself, and like I say, this is another rule that's kind of been brought to my attention more, and I'm hoping I've got this right, that if he was proximate to this and he was 2 times strength, then that situation would now be, it would qualify. I would then move into the action, and if for some reason I couldn't move him out because I had to protect this VP Hex, then obviously he wouldn't do it. But you still need to check. You don't look at this first and say, oh, I can't do nothing with this guy because he's got to protect the VP Hex. No, you don't do that. Check the situation first, get the situation sorted, and if it can move on to the action, do it, and then, okay, you can't do it. But anyway. Yeah. Okay, so I don't think it's gonna. This is the next unit. Selector number 9. Yeah. Strength of unit stack and other active units greater than 2 times proximate German unit stack. So it's not. It's, well. Yeah, it's 1-to-1 there, and this guy can't come and help. He's the only other active unit. He's not going to get up there to help, you know. So not him, and well, okay, you could consider that. No, he can't, can he? No, he can't get adjacent to this. So yeah, there's no combined arms attack. The other unit is this one, who's dispersed, but he's selector number 31. So he's outside the range as well. So let's move on to the next card. Elite attack. Yeah, probably not. It's unit stack, strength greater than 2 times. And then if elite. Oh, okay. If it's elite, the strength just needs to be greater than. Well, none of these units in this core, well, no, I don't think even in the core are elite. None. Oh, I'll tell a lie, these guys aren't. But these are second armour. They're not. None of the units in the 3rd armour or 84th infantry are elite. So we would need to have greater than or equal to 2 times again, which is just the same as a combined arms attack. So we don't need to even look through that. The last card is move. Sorry, that's about where I am, isn't it? So unit stack not adjacent to a supply German unit. Well, okay, let me move across again. Okay, I'm pretty sure we're losing our town in Celis. I would think. So situation again, it's one. It's sorry, moving things about all over the place here. It's 1 to 39. So this is the first unit. So he's on a VP Hex, so but unit stat not adjacent to a supply German unit. That is correct. So the action move to unoccupied VP Hex to which the German unit is proximate. There's none of them. If none, move to unoccupied proximate German town city. Well, this is an unoccupied German town city. So he wants to move to that. The only thing that would stop him is, well, is preserve the line, avoid surround, protect VP hex. There's no issues with preserving the line by him moving from there. There's no issues with being surrounded. No. And the protect VP hex is, let me just, I always like to look, just in case. Oh, look at the wrong button. No, there we go. So protect. Do not move from VP hex if it leaves the hex vacant, and if within 2 hexes of a German unit or a German unit is proximate. So him moving from here to here. There's not a German unit within 2 of this hex, and there would be nothing proximate to it. Yeah, sorry, it's not after a move, is it? It's just. If it leaves the hex vacant or German units proximate. Just wonder about the word in there. If it if I moved to here, but let's just say I was moving elsewhere, does it just mean a German unit's proximate to that hex at the moment? Not. Hang on a sec. Well, the way I read it is, do not leave the hex if it leaves the hex. If a German unit is proximate to the hex. Yeah. Okay. Been away for some time, so I think we were talking about. We're on the move actually, the move card, and we were talking about moving this into here, I believe. Yeah, unoccupied proximate German town city, and I was debating whether the fact he's moving out of Victory Point hex, there's no German unit within 2, there's no German unit proximate, so yeah, I think that unit's going to move into there. I'm pretty sure that happens. So takes back one of the towns that we had captured. Okay, so next units are, hang on, I'll move the camera. Okay, so next would be Unit 9. It's adjacent to a supplied German unit, and so is Unit 10. What did this guy's? He's 31. Oh, it goes up to 39 though. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. When I come back to him, he's adjacent to a German unit anyway. But yeah, coming back down here, this guy who's selector number 24, so he's in there as well. So, and he's not adjacent to a German unit. So let's have a look at what he's going to do. Okay, so he's not got a VP hex which a German unit is proximate to, or a German unoccupied German town that he's proximate. There's one here, but he's a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So yeah, so he's wanted to try and move adjacent to the nearest proximate German unit. At first I was looking at both these units are 4 hexes away, but it's not. That's not the case. It's proximate. So you can't get to this guy. 3 into the woods. It's 3 into the woods here. 4, 5. So you can get adjacent. You can get adjacent to this guy. So I would say that's his nearest proximate German unit. think he's opening a gap though, isn't he? Yeah. It's like to put the wee cube in here, but so 3, 4, 5. If he moves into there, he was there, and yeah, there's going to be oh no, aha! This is an allied town. I got caught out with this one before. Martin spoke about this with some of his examples. How you've got you've got to consider towns and bridges. So yeah. So if that unit moves out of there, at the moment there's not a gap at all. That's zone of control, but if he does move out of here, that's got allied zone of control, that's got allied zone of control, and that's an allied town. So there's no gap opened up, so I think that's right. Feels a little bit strange, but but it's not. I mean, going back to the old rules, it's not really the old rules if that was the intention from the start. But our old thinking, shall we say, that still wouldn't have opened up like for instance, this unit here, it still can't trace communication through here. You can't do it. That's zone of control, and that's an allied town. So yeah, so it looks like this guy can come down here then. Yeah, I think it's all good. Yeah, it's almost good, but this guy, he's going to be surroundable there. There's a wee bit thinking involved, but this armoured unit can go 1, 2, 3, and this infantry unit is bracketed, but this, hold on, yeah, no, I think it's still okay, because they'd be breaking zone of control, so it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, and surround them. So, okay, oh god, he was there, wasn't he? Yeah. Think so. Okay, so it doesn't look like he can move. Oh, well, if he can't move... hang on a sec. Okay, so that's his nearest proximate German unit. And then when we try to move him there, he can't make the move because he's going to be unable to avoid surround. So we then move on to the next command on the card, which is move in forward direction. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's just see if that's okay. So that's him moved his full from there, moving in the primary forward arrow. He's moved his full 5 movement points. Now we know he's not opened up a gap here, so he's still preserving the line because we already talked about this, the fact this is an allied city. There was no VP hex to protect. So it's just a case of can he be surrounded now maybe, but I don't think so now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I don't think a unit can get in here. Yeah, no, this is closest mechanised unit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we could only get into there, so we're never going to get zone of control there. There's nothing north of that. So yeah, I think that's legit. I think he's going to move there. Yeah, move adjacent to nearest proximate German unit. So if more than one, well, there wasn't more than one that was proximate, move to target nearest to forward direction. That's if there was more than one. And then it says if none, move in forward direction. So I'm assuming that if none means that, okay, yeah, there's no legal movement towards that adjacent to that German unit. So then you just move in forward direction. And that's following the primary forward arrows all the way, using up all its movement points and not breaking any of the restrictions on the card. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that, I think. Okay, so that was unit 24. Oh yeah, and we already spoke about the fact that this was 31, but he was adjacent to a German unit anyway, so he wouldn't do the move. So that's all the cards used. So the last part could be Ardennes. I'm going to take an IP, and well, this guy's in a town, so this guy will take an IP, and dispersed. I don't think they can they? Though no, they can't. But the last part of the activation is you can remove the dispersal. Sorry, it's been a late night now. I did go away there and come back, and probably should be away at my bed by now. But anyway, so this guy is an IP. I'll put the marker on him shortly, and this guy loses his dispersal, and that will be that. So that's this division cards finished. That's Allied Impulse over. So next we'll move on to the next German Impulse, but I think we'll do that tomorrow. Okay guys, I'll leave it for now. Cheers.